It's clearly not just a health crisis. It's an economic crisis. It's a social crisis. It's a peace and security crisis, actually. For a country like New Zealand, which has been relatively successful, and of course has the advantage of being a set of islands, it's been absolutely classic, basic public health measures. It's been social distancing. It's been using a lockdown to get test and trace systems in place. But I think some countries didn't act firmly enough on the most basic public health measures early enough, and that's where a pandemic gets away. Absolutely indispensable measure. As I recall, Auckland International Airport was accepting around 9 international flights from China a day. What if we hadn't stopped? I mean, it would have been catastrophic. I'm totally supportive of cutting that off. I think for the foreseeable future, it's going to be about a bubble approach. Is there a feeling that you can relatively safely travel between countries? Because having had success in stamping it out and continuing to stamp it out whenever it appears, you don't want to import cases willy-nilly. What is beneficial is basic public health measures and having leadership which will communicate those very clearly to a population and engage that population on a journey. In a sense, it doesn't matter so much whether a country is democratic or not in that respect. What matters is that people have trust in the authorities and what they're recommending, and will say, if that's going to beat it, that's good enough for me. And in New Zealand, that did mean people accepting quite extraordinary limits on their freedom of movement, which we'd never experienced before, but it paid off. Communication of authoritative, well-based messaging about measures which will work. I think that's the classic ingredient of a successful response. What this experience shows is that your pandemic planning must be very flexible. And the real breakthrough, I think, for the New Zealand government response was in early March when it threw out the flu pandemic plan and said we're dealing with something completely different. This isn't about flattening curves. It's too dangerous for that. We are going to go for a stamping it out strategy. I think this wake-up call means that a country going forward which doesn't have a resilient, flexible pandemic plan is going to be blindsided again. The reality is, for countries that bundle the public health response, the economic damage is going to be deeper and longer lasting. So getting health right, having a healthy, secure population is absolutely critical to getting economies right and for business to